Breaking news. The date is February 5th, 2026, and Germany has just made a move that will redefine European security for decades to come. For all of you out there who support Ukraine, freedom, and justice, we ask you to please subscribe to Defense Reports, your go-to source for timely, in-depth military and defense reports. Join me in the latest program by Defense Report for the latest in global defense news, military technology, and strategic developments. And today we're going to cover, well, something massive. Berlin is launching its own space shield.
That's right. We're talking about a 35 billion euro investment initiated today to build a sovereign satellite network. The goal, to track any and every missile threat, completely independent of the United States.
It's a historic shift. For so long, the arrangement was, pretty clear. The U.S. had the eyes in the sky, Europe handled things on the ground.
Exactly. But with this, Berlin is essentially saying the security of the eastern flank, and frankly, the defense of Ukraine, is just too critical to leave in anyone else's hands.
So let's get into the why. Why now? 35 billion is a huge number, even for Germany. And the sources all point to one thing, a missile called IRIS².
That was the trigger. When Russia fired that medium-range ballistic missile at Lviv, it exposed a really terrifying blind spot in Europe's defenses.
The reports I read said European ground radar picked it up, but just way too late to do anything meaningful.
Right, and that's a fundamental physics problem, isn't it?
It is, the radar horizon. Because the Earth is curved, a fast-moving maneuvering missile like IRIS² stays below that horizon until it's almost on top of you.
To solve that, you need the ultimate high ground. You have to be looking down from space.
And until now, that meant relying on the U.S. space-based infrared system, SBRs.
And, with all the political uncertainty coming out of Washington, Germany has decided that waiting for a phone call from an ally to know if you're under attack is, well, it's a risk they're no longer willing to take.
So they're building their own tech stack, and it looks like a layered approach. I'm seeing names like JEWEL and Spock.
It's a very sophisticated, multi-layered system. JEWEL is the high-altitude component. It's a joint project with France, putting sensors way up in geostationary orbit.
36,000 kilometers up. These are the unblinking eyes designed for hot launch detection, right? Spotting the heat signature the second a missile lights up.
Precisely. They give you that crucial first warning. But the problem is, as we've seen in Ukraine, missile engines don't burn forever. And the other challenge is finding the launchers on the ground before they fire.
Especially if they're mobile and hidden under clouds or, forest cover.
That's where SBOCK-1 comes in. This is a real game changer. It's a collaboration with Rheinmetall and ICY.
Using synthetic aperture radar, SAR, for anyone listening, you can think of it like sonar but with radio waves. It doesn't need light. It sees right through clouds, smoke, even at night.
Which means there's literally nowhere for a mobile launcher on the eastern flank to hide. If it's there, SBOCK will see it. And this isn't just theory. They already proved the concept.
With IRIS², the shoebox satellite.
The nano satellite, yes. Launched back in August 2024. IRIS² showed that you can get powerful tracking capabilities from small, relatively cheap satellites.
Yeah.
You don't need a massive school bus-sized asset anymore.
Okay, but there's one more piece to this that feels, it feels like science fiction. The new doctrine doesn't just talk about watching. It mentions active defense, lasers and jammers.
This is definitely the most controversial part of the whole plan. They're talking about soft kill capabilities.
Soft kill.
Yeah. Using lasers not to destroy, but to dazzle the optical sensors on an enemy spy satellite. Or using jammers to disrupt their communications.
So this is a direct answer to threats like the Russian Lutulimp satellite, the one that's been caught maneuvering right up next to European satellites.
It's exactly that. It's Germany saying space is now a contested domain. If you try to spy on us from orbit, we will blind you. It shifts them from being a passive consumer of intelligence to an active player.
So stepping back, what's the big picture here? Germany is going from a customer of U.S. space intelligence to a leading military space power in its own right.
It completely changes the center of gravity within NATO. A Europe that can see threats for itself is a more capable partner, but also a more independent one. It secures Ukrainian supply lines, and it just removes the element of surprise for any potential aggressor.
Which raises a really provocative question, doesn't it?
It does. It's the question we should probably leave our listeners with. If Germany and Europe no longer need to borrow America's eyes to see an incoming threat, how does that change the fundamental dynamics of the Western alliance?
You've been listening to Defense Report by Alex, where we analyze the latest in military strategy, global defense, and advanced weaponry. Subscribe to Defense Reports, your trusted source for timely, in-depth military and defense analysis. We'll see you next time. Keep supporting us so we can continue bringing you the latest developments from Ukraine and around the world.